Okay, and we're live. Letting everybody join in right here, whoever is watching us live, and we can get started. Thanks everybody for joining in. My name is Pasha, and today I'm joined by Bianca Basse, Monte Desai, and Blaze. Last name Blaszczyk. Did I get that right? Okay, cool. Yeah, and today we're talking about 2026 Amazon growth. Everybody's starting the year after the holidays. Finally, everyone's out of their hangover and food comas and trying to get back on selling. So here we are talking about ways that we can really dial in Amazon sales, e-commerce sales, so we can have a great year and get prepared for the next holiday season. So we have a couple quarters till we get there, luckily. So if everybody's ready, I will share my screen and present. I'll just need somebody to let me know if they can see my screen because this is always weird for me when I'm navigating the studio and sharing. So just a second. All right. You guys should be able to see that. Can I get a confirmation, please?
Yes, we can see that.
Yeah, we can
Thank
see.
you. Cool. So, yeah, 2026 Amazon growth plan. So we've come up with a checklist here at AMZ Optimized to just talk about metrics, targets, decisions to finalize now. Considering that we're recording this around the end of January, getting really uh, right out of the holidays. So we want to look at these items right now. It'll really set the foundation for the rest of the year. So just a little bit about me. I've been selling on Amazon for the last 15 years. I'm yeah, I've just exited my second private label brand. I'm the founder of AMZ Optimized, which is a full service agency in the Amazon space, and we manage eight figures across our portfolio of various clients in different categories. And we really specialize in advanced PPC strategy, branded content, and account growth and custom solutions for all of those. And we're also working on a piece of software, which more information can be found on amzbrain.ai. So, what we're covering is these six items, and it's really revenue and growth, catalog, margin, inventory, and cash commitments that go with inventory, advertising strategy, and conversion, and why all of that matters. So here we go. So starting with revenue and growth targets, that really refers to the planned pace of your sales growth during when the business what it's moving towards, and that assumption is really the most important thing when we're building out projections. So, for example, if you're really trying to grow at 10% versus 25%, everything changes and all the decisions change around buying inventory and how aggressive you can be with ads, what kind of cash you need to lock up, and basically the entire planning that you do. So, what you could really do here is lock a growth rate that's defensible based on historical performance and what the category is actually doing. Try to be very data focused and not just based on optimism or hope. A lot of people say, "I hope the business grows this year." Well, I think that if we can pull something like this. This is historical data that we typically use when we're building a projection. So we built this last month in December, and we said, okay, looking at an account that was doing between August and November, this is what the sales look like. Obviously, they were talking to us because it looks like a lot of their sales started to take a decline and their tacos were going up. So they said, okay, something's wrong. So we built out a forecast and a projection for them that was built based on what we think that is reasonable and what kind of a target that we set for growth, and then we try to divide out all of these months that align with the potential market cap of their you know, addressable industry. So we determined that their market size roughly on Amazon US is 7.5 million per month. And so we were saying, okay, what kind of market share can we take of that? And based on these numbers, it outlined everything else that came along with it. And so we wanted to say, okay, over time, we're going to be decreasing the tacos. We're going to start at 37 in January. We're going to end at 34 in December. And while we're doing that, we're going to be increasing the market share. And while we're doing that, we're also going to be trying to, you know, kind of be within market range of CPCs. We're not really going to alternate too much. So starting at like 1.9 and kind of getting to 2.2 because December CPCs are higher, but not doing anything outrageous to grow the brand aggressively. So setting these types of parameters gives us guidelines and benchmarks as to how we expect to grow the company and what kind of advertising and conversion thresholds that we're targeting. So same type of thing here with conversion rates starting at 17%. How would we consistently improve the content and test so we can get the conversion rate higher consistently throughout the year, ending at that 18 to 19% levels, starting at 17. So catalog focus determines which products the business is actually investing in versus maintaining. Why this matters is because the prioritization of these ASINs will determine your ROI, and Amazon rewards momentum on a small number of listings that are performing very well, way more than they do, a lot of listings that are doing mediocre. And so what the action would be here is to explicitly tier these ASINs into which ones need to be scaled, which ones need to be defended, which need to be fixed, which ones need to be exited. If you're seeing that resources are being given to SKUs that don't perform well, then maybe it's a decision that needs to be made where you might cut certain SKUs, even though you're emotionally attached to having them there in the catalog. Maybe they don't get as much love anymore once you've tested that they're not growing as much as the other ones. So an example would be non-focus SKUs. This is a list where we determine, okay, these are a lot of SKUs in a catalog which are declining in sales. They're making up a minority of the units being sold in the account, whereas here we're looking at either growth or very low amount of decline, but high revenue relative to the last screen where we saw, these are all single digit 1,000s in sales, and these are already, 30,000 or 20,000 in sales. So if we were doing this type of an audit, which we do a lot, we would say, okay, let's prioritize these because clearly they have more healthy numbers associated with them as they're growing. Margin and pricing guardrails, they basically set the profit boundaries within which pricing and promotions are operating. So obviously everybody's concerned about how much margin they're making, but not many people are actually tracking it accurately and understanding that. That's the kind of basics of selling on Amazon. You have to understand what your bottom line really is. And it also, depending on what your actual margin target is, will determine how much volatility that you can kind of handle and how much you can push ads or push ads back in order to, you need to have some kind of a stop loss, and that should be mapped out on an ASIN level. So the action to take here would be setting a hard margin floor on an ASIN level. And if you see anything that is within a strategy that is outside of that boundary, again, it's like, you're trying to plan with data. And so you're going to eliminate that option. So for example, here we have a list of the SKUs, which we see they are profitable, they're in stock, they're moving well, we have good momentum on it. And then there's going to be other SKUs, which we're not showing here in this list, but like for example, this is one where profit margin is very low and cost of goods are relatively kind of at the same level. And this might be one that you would cut out, but as if the screenshot would kind of go lower in this list, we would see more. So just organizing by profitability is another great way to know which one is which SKUs are kind of dragging the account down. So this comes into inventory and cash commitment. Why this matters is that weeks of cover is the real constraint on growth and not demand. Inventory and cash are the blood of the business. And I see this being actually the biggest bottleneck to growth, more than advertising or content. And the reason why is because too much inventory limits your flexibility, and you get extra fees and you have extra money locked up. And if you don't sell that product in time, or you can't sell it, then you have other issues that come with that. Or too little will basically kill your ranking and you have to start over. So trying to understand what inventory velocity really looks like, and then planning your buys for inventory around those velocities and lead times is ideal. So trying to stay in stock for, let's say, a 30 to 60 day range, and then maybe even having backup at a 3PL, not just relying on everything going perfectly. So having a little bit of a buffer. So this is an example of a SKU level weeks of cover used to identify stockout risks and excess cash, excess inventory tying up cash. So here we're using a tool. So a lot of these screenshots are coming from a tool called Merchant Spring, which we're a partner with, and we use them. Shout out to Merchant Spring, and reach out to me if you want a discount on their service. Don't tell them I said that. So you would see here that we have a screenshot that shows all of the days, all of the SKUs that are less than, let's say, a 30-day period, or except for this one, of stock, which this is obviously all red because this is getting into dangerous territory. And this tool will also allow you, and many other tools would do this, allow you to actually understand, based on a velocity level, how many units are we talking about that we need in order to maintain this kind of velocity. Then usually we put some type of if we're seeing that there's a growth, then I think this is included in their formula, so that way you know how much to send in. So yeah, using tools to understand growth and try to get as close as you can, so you don't incur unnecessary long-term storage fees, or now short-term storage fees or understock fees. Is ideal. So we don't want to get like lower than that 28-day window, or they start to give you fees based on that, but also after 90 days. So exactly, you want to be right between that 30 to 90-day window. That's the sweet spot. Advertising strategy, highly connected to all of these metrics that we were going over. So tacos is the metric that I think is really primary, or one of the primary KPIs that we should talk about, not necessarily just ACOS wise, because it's the total amount of advertising over your total sales. And so that really gives you a healthy understanding of the relation between organic and paid. Setting tacos targets that align with your margin and your growth goals then basically forces trade-offs when spend rises faster than your revenue. And then that way you can start to play with the data to make sure that you're aligning your growth and your tacos as closely as possible, because tacos is heavily associated with margin. So again, kind of referring back to here, we're looking at tacos and seeing how that affects all of the other areas, including what are the ad sales versus the total sales, or the ad sales versus the organic. And our goal is always to try to increase the organic by lowering tacos. And so in theory, if you have good velocity, you should be seeing that ads are becoming less and less priority as your rank improves, because you're using advertising as a way to get those rank improvements and thus boost your organic sales. And I believe this is the last one, is the conversion lever. So of course, conversion, this is the first thing that we look at before even spending any money. How do we lift conversion? Because if it says it right here, it's how expensive growth becomes is your conversion rate. So if your conversion rate is higher, then you need to spend less money in order to make that sale. So that means that, yeah, advertising becomes more efficient. Everything becomes more efficient. So filling every single module that is given to you by Amazon, meaning, from A to Z, if you are eligible for A+ premium, then do that. If they're giving you brand story modules, fill it out. All the images that they give you, at least 7, video, 20-second video, whatever you can manage to do. I know that Monte has some solutions for this, so I'll let him talk a little bit more about that. But Amazon gives you suggestions. There are tools like Helium 10. This is from Helium 10. It's very easy to know what you're missing. And also the tool that we're working on fills out the backend details, so you're more set up for AI. Basically, Cosmo and Rufus is scanning your listing to query against it, and to follow what people are looking for on an intent-based search, because it's not just about keyword-based search anymore. People are just going to type in whatever they're looking for, and Amazon's supposed to scan their catalog to find them exactly what they're really wanting, not just what they think they're wanting. And so that's based on what's in the back end as well as the front end. So very important. So yeah, immediate next steps, just to kind of summarize. Revenue growth targets. Do you have defensible growth rate tied to reality? If your catalog, when it comes to your catalog, do you know exactly which ASINs you're actually trying to scale or trying to exit? Margin, is there a non-negotiable price margin that is protecting your profitability on the account and on the ASIN level as well? Are inventory buys aligned to your realistic velocity and cash constraints? Is ad spend governed by tacos discipline and not reaction? And conversion, are your listing and reviews strong enough to support the traffic that's coming in efficiently? So these are just a couple of things you should ask. That's it for me. So I think I don't know if I'm over time, but a little bit over time. Sorry about that. Usually I give 10 minutes for this, but we have a small group of presenters today. So yeah, reach out to me, Pasha at amzoptimized.com if you have any questions. If you want to do I have a personalized Q1 readiness audit, or just general audit like the ones that I was discussing today. So I think this QR code should take you to my Calendly if you want to get in touch. Otherwise, find me on LinkedIn. Thank you. All right. Bianca, you're up.
All right. I'm already presenting, but
okay, gotcha.
Now it is, right? Perfect. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining. My name is Bianca Basse, and this session is an introduction to key capabilities and benefits of the Amazon DSP. So the goal of this presentation is to give you a clear, realistic understanding of what Amazon DSP is, when it makes sense to use it, and how it might fit into your overall Amazon advertising strategy. Before we get started, a short introduction. I'm a freelance programmatic advertising consultant specializing in Amazon DSP, Amazon Marketing Cloud, and CTV. I've been working in digital advertising for over 10 years with a focus on Amazon DSP and AMZ for the past 7 years. So I started when the platform was still in its early stages. I do support brands and agencies in in-housing Amazon DSP management, as well as scaling and optimizing existing strategies and campaigns, and help sellers finding the right reseller for an Amazon DSP seat. Let's start with the basics. Amazon DSP is Amazon's programmatic advertising solution designed to extend your Amazon advertising strategy beyond search. While sponsored ads are very effective at capturing existing demand, Amazon DSP enables a more holistic, audience-driven approach to growth. So instead of focusing only on keywords, you can reach audiences across different stages at the customer journey in different environments. The core benefits you can find here on the right. Amazon DSP allows programmatic advertising both on and off Amazon for both endemic and non-endemic advertisers. So you don't even have to sell on Amazon to use it. You can link outside. It is powered by Amazon's first-party data, which is based on real shopping behavior. Advertisers can reach new audiences in brand-safe environments. You can define full-funnel campaign goals. You can gain data-based audience insights, use multiple creative options, and you can engage audiences through exclusive streaming TV inventory. Before we move on to use cases, I'd like to briefly expand on the key benefits in a bit more detail. At the core, Amazon DSP is built around 4 main pillars. So first, USP is definitely the inventory. Amazon DSP provides exclusive access to Amazon-owned and operated inventory, such as Amazon website, Amazon app, IMDb, Twitch, or Prime Video. Also, further streaming TV options such as Netflix or Disney Plus are available since last year. Furthermore, online video inventory and display placements via third-party publishers of Amazon are available. We also have Alexa ads. Second USP is the targeting. You can activate signals based on real shopping and browsing behavior, including in-market and lifestyle audiences, which means you can target users who recently have shown interest in specific product categories. Competitor targeting is possible, PDP retargeting with detailed lookback windows, new-to-brand targeting is possible, very specific exclusions or lookalikes, which mean you can build statistical twins of your existing customers, to name just one example. You can also use your own advertiser data, for example, your newsletter email addresses. The third is a full funnel activation. Amazon DSP is often misunderstood for lower funnel only. In fact, Amazon DSP supports campaigns across the entire funnel, from awareness and consideration to conversion and loyalty, with KPIs aligned to each stage. And finally, the data. Amazon DSP offers rich performance data and insights across the customer journey. Additionally, AMZ, Amazon's data cleanroom, is an optional privacy-safe solution for deeper analysis. So you don't have to rely on last click attribution. On this slide, I outline the typical use cases for Amazon DSP, read from left to right. So first, the upper funnel activities, which is prospecting and brand building. Amazon DSP supports upper and mid funnel activation with measurable impact. So you can use DSP to reach relevant users before purchase intent exists, or building awareness in competitive categories and introducing your brand to new audiences. Moving to the mid, category and competitive strategies to support your sponsored ads. Use DSP to defend your category presence, to conquest users browsing competing products. At the same time, DSP expands reach beyond search, so your sponsored ads might benefit indirectly through increased branded searches or stronger consideration signals. And finally, on the right side, we see the lower funnel activation, which typically means retargeting and loyalty goals. You can retarget high intent users, typically product viewers or cart abandoners, to recover conversions. You can use Amazon DSP to re-engage existing customers to support lifetime value through cross-sell and upsell efforts. Together, these use cases show how Amazon DSP can be applied across the full funnel journey, starting from initial discovery to repeat purchase. On the final slide, I created a checklist for you, what to consider before starting with Amazon DSP. So Amazon DSP makes sense when you are already using sponsored ads consistently and efficiently. Sponsored ads performance should be stable, not in constant restructuring. And DSP works best when the focus is on brand growth, not purely on short-term ROAS, if you want to secure incrementality. Typical goals at this stage are acquiring new-to-brand customers, driving category growth, and building a defensive competitive strategy. A common real-world example is a seller operating in a highly competitive category. So at some point, sponsored ads alone are no longer enough to scale. And that brings me to the end of the introduction. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, or feel free to reach out afterwards, either via mail or you can find me easily on LinkedIn.
Thank you, Bianca. Great. Where are we? All right. Monte, you're up.
All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Monte Desai. I'm the founder of Pixii.ai. Thank you, Pasha, for having me. I'm looking forward to talking about it. Let me show you guys a couple things here. Oh, don't want to do that. Sorry.
There we go.
Okay. So the topic today is AI for design, right? So 2026, the growth plan. 2026 is the year that AI got really, really good at designing Amazon listings. I don't have to tell you that the easiest way to boost revenue is to, get better visuals, right? That the only way that you can communicate with your customers. That's all they have. You can't do a taste test. They're not in the store. You can't talk to them. You have to sell them through better photos. And I'll just flip through really quickly. All of these are made with AI in only 2 minutes. This is the first try. This is one click. So, how can you take advantage of it and how can you grow? So before we get into that, I just want to give you a sense of like how important this is. AI just now got good at design, right? So if you look at this graph, what you're looking at here is the capabilities and adoption. So copywriting, AI got good at copywriting in 2022, and now there's no such thing as a copywriter, right? Like that job title basically doesn't exist anymore. AI got good at coding probably a year and a half ago, and then now all coders use AI. The same thing's gonna happen with design, but because design is just so good already, I think by the end of the year, you're gonna go from 10% of people using AI for design to about 80% on Amazon. That means the Chinese knockoffs are gonna be using it. That means, any mom and pop shop is gonna be using it. That means Coca-Cola is gonna be using it. And so that means your competitors are gonna be using it. So let's dive into what exactly you can do to take advantage of this opportunity to grow here in 2026. I'm going to cover a few things here. I will move quickly because it's a lot of content. So number one is how to design an Amazon listing in 2 minutes with AI. I have one loaded up, but if you guys want to comment an ASIN, I might be able to do some of your ASINs as well, either during this call or afterwards. I just sent it to you. Number two, how to edit images with AI. This is like a huge problem. You generate an image with AI, you can't edit it. So how do you solve that? And then number three tips for better photos. This is true of Pixii, which is this tool that you're looking at now. It's true of any other tool that you might use, whether it's ChatGPT or Banana or something else out there in the world. Okay, well, let's just get into it. Let me flip over, and I'm just going to run a listing right now. ASIN the Amazon listing URL or the ASIN and just click generate and give this about 2 minutes. So what Pixii is doing here is it's analyzing reviews, competitors, the top 5% in the category, and it's building a creative strategy to figure out, okay, well, where do you play and how do you win, right? How do you communicate your message to the audience in a way that gets them to add the cart immediately? Pixii, has a generous free tier. You can generate at least 3 listings. Some people are getting 5 listings out of the free tier. For context, 1 listing, if you went to an agency, would cost you about $5,000. And depending on the agency, they're cheaper, they're more expensive, and it would take you about 9 weeks. Even if you were an agency and you designed it, if you had a designer in-house, again, you have to wait 3 weeks. You have to deal with the cultural gap, the back and forth. So we'll give this a second here. Also, I should mention, with AI, since I'm doing a live demo, there's going to be a little bit of waiting. So, feel free to drop questions in the chat, whether it's about, the stuff you're looking at here or anything else that you've had problems with when you do AI for images. Yeah, wondering, we should add something here, like a game.
That would be a good idea. Some Tetris.
Yeah, because right now what I end up doing is I'll end up scrolling Instagram or LinkedIn or something.
Yeah, you could log into your Instagram right there on that page.
Oh man, too much information. Y'all don't want to see what's happening over there. Yeah, my algorithm's messed up. Okay, so the creative strategy. This is a creative brief, right? So Pixii has then analyzed and said, okay, well, for this product, this is a supplement that I just ran. It's about mental alertness. So the segments are the aging optimizer, the high performer, 30 to 45, needs and focus for worker study. So what exactly is the USP? Well, you get noticeable mental alertness in 1 serving without caffeine. That sounds like a deal. I kind of want to try it. So most competitors take 30 days or rely on a lot of stimulants like caffeine or other things. The reviews love that there's no jitters, and they feel like they have sharper focus and clearer thinking. What they're a little bit concerned about is the price, and it's hard to swallow. The customer needs, the brand profile, how it works and why it works, and then the creative strategy. So the concept that Pixii came up with here is engineered clarity, right? Because you're saying that we use science to create clarity. Let's take a look. Okay, so we have a set of 7 optimized visuals here, all on brand, all communicating the key points. And this is using the best practices from the Mad Men style agencies on how to actually do creative, right? So you have a main image with a hack. So you notice little pills here to drive click-through rate, the #1 selling point on the second image, and then the rest of the images take you down the path from, okay, I'm curious, to I'm interested, to I'm ready to add to cart. Us versus them, lifestyle shot, how it works, and then look, any last things you might have questions about is a 30-day supply. Now, let's get into topic number 2, which is editing. So let's say, you generate AI image, let's say it's not perfect. Let's say it messed up your product a little bit, or you don't love the wording. You can actually just you can prompt it, and I can show you how to prompt it very well, or you can use something like Spot Edit and say, change this to or your brain. Give this a few seconds to run here. And maybe what I can do in the meantime is just show you some stuff. This will take a few seconds here.
There's also 2 people in the chat that pasted their ASIN in there.
Oh, love it. Let me just grab that now. Okay, cool. Just to show you really quickly, this is what it was. And I said, change this to power your brain, and it did just that. We have a beta feature. I actually want to try it. It's a little dangerous. You shouldn't be doing this in a live demo, but why not? So convert to layers. Let's take this and let's see if it works. And then I'm gonna actually grab the ASINs now. I can't copy paste them for some reason, but I will ask my handy dandy friend ChatGPT to do that.
Now we have a third one.
Give the names and ASINs. As a side note, I'm a top 1% user of ChatGPT. That's what they told me. So pretty proud of that.
How do you know? Like, where do you find out if you are or not?
Oh, they got rid of it. Oh man. There was a thing here. It was like your year-end review, like Spotify does.
Oh,
I'm just gonna keep running here. Maybe I'll duplicate this tab, and I'll start running. I'll run Roberts in the meantime. For this. Assuming this is US, to generate. Okay. There we go. So this was an image, and it converted to layers. So what that means, you can just actually type what you want. Type anything. You can also use your brand fonts. You can change the color. So this is now something akin to like a Canva type file. You can also download this as an SVG and then keep working in Photoshop or Canva or Illustrator, wherever you work. All right, and I am now running in the background. A lot of stuff happening here. I'm running a bunch of ASINs, running Robert's ASIN right now. In the meantime, let me just hit you with some tips, okay? 3 tips, better photos. So number 1 tip, input photo matters. Now this is true of Pixii, it's true of Nano Banana, of ChatGPT, of any AI tool you're ever gonna use ever in history. If you want good output, you need good input, just like that Papa John's commercial, better ingredients, better pizza. And let me just show you, okay? So this example, we used the photo that was on the Amazon listing. And I know if you're an agency or a designer, sometimes that's all you get. But we use that photo and it's like, okay, but then we used a good photo, an HD photo. And it's a whole different product, right? So AI was getting confused. It didn't realize this is a pack. It's not a 1-pack. Right? So I got the 4-pack right. It also started to make more logical and more rich designs. So this one, for example, sub-zero performance, looks interesting, catches the eye, communicates the key value proposition. It also got the logic right. This is actually a crazy product. Like this product is so interesting. You just pour in water, you shake it, and it just turns like ice cold. It's crazy. Okay, so input photo matters. Whenever you can, use a good HD input photo, not something off of Amazon, not a render, not like you holding the product, like you want it to be sitting on a table. You can actually take a photo with your phone. Like a lot of times you take a photo with your own phone, your own product, it'll do better than what you're getting on Amazon. Okay, the other big tip for you guys is input more text, right? If you, good input, good output, right? AI can't know more about your product unless you tell it more about your product. So in Pixii, what I just did here, it automatically read every single thing it could get off your Amazon listing. But if you don't have much on your Amazon listing, you should put it in manually. And this is true again of ChatGPT, of Nano Banana, of anything else. And then let's just check in here. Oh, yep, there was a mistake with the ASIN. All right, I'll just run to the next one, and then we'll keep going. Oh, I see, Robert. Okay, it was UK. No problem. We'll just keep going. Keep going here. All right. My third pro tip. There are so many AI image models out there. Every 2.5 months, a new one comes out. And they're better, but they're also like better at certain things. Let me give you some examples of that. So most of the stuff I've been showing you has been like, this is all Nano Banana, right? Like very, very good for production. It follows your instructions. It, has very, very good logic. Like surprisingly, it does the job pretty well, right? It understands all these scientific things. It's cool. However, sometimes you want ideas. And then for ideas, I actually like ChatGPT. And in all of our testing, especially for main images, GPT images comes out with better results. And so let me give you an example here. So I ran the same photo, the same template, the same prompt, okay? I ran it 3 different times, and I used 3 different models. I used GPT, Nano Banana Pro, and then Nano Banana. And you can see here, like this one's just better. This is GPT, it's just better. Like it's more beautiful, it's more rich, it's more creative. this one's Nano Banana Pro, and then this one is Nano Banana. It just becomes a little more boring, right? And the same thing here, GPT, Nano Banana Pro, Nano Banana. So GPT is good for brainstorming and creativity. Nano Banana is good for production when you're ready to ship it out to Amazon. Oh man, I didn't even look at what this ASIN is, but it looks like it's a CrossFit product, which I love because I'm really into CrossFit. So let's see. Okay, removable solid iron weights. Interesting brand profile. Okay, how it works. We're like a backpack on your chest or your back. Why it works? It's compact solid plates instead of bulky sandbags. Nice. Yes, you're getting ready for Merv. Very cool. How are we doing on time? I think I'm at time, right?
Yeah, very close to it.
Okay, so I'll just keep running these, and maybe I'll find a way to get these results to you guys. But yeah, AI for design is here. You need to take advantage of it because your competitors will try Pixii, generous free trial, and then also feel free to use like Nano Banana, ChatGPT. There are many tools out there that can get you going. All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Monty. That was a great one. And I will say, anybody who wants to get those images sent over, since we didn't have time, Robert, Kojo, Chris, Joe, if you want to just put those, if you've already sent your ASIN, you could just provide your email address, and then Monty will get those sent out to you guys, so that way you get it, and so you can basically indirectly test this tool. Very cool. Blaze, you're up.
All right. Just a second. All right. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Thanks for the invitation and thanks for the presentations. The previous one was so cool. It was, hypnotizing about this new AI possibilities. I've seen similar software a few months ago, and it was like this is completely different game now after 3 months. So very cool. My name is Blaze. I'm a CEO and a founder of e-commerce funding consultant studio and a platform called Turbodash, where we strive to provide e-commerce owners, Amazon sellers, Shopify sellers with the right capital, with the right terms at the right time. It all became because my first company is Amazon selling boutique studio, I would say, for the last few years, and we had this problem of going through the maze of different kind of capital products for the e-commerce industry around the globe, in Europe, in the UK, and in the US. So Turbodash came into life based on this pain point to democratize and streamline this process of getting the best possible capital and not being scammed or hurt by the funding industry. So we're going to talk about very simple stuff, but as we talk more and more with less mature and more mature owners, e-commerce owners, this is all very, very important from our perspective because people usually do it all the way around. So those are the fundamentals of how to prepare yourself to raise capital in the e-commerce space in 2026. So in the beginning, I would like you to ask you, this is just like a game over here. Does 6% equals 33%? And the answer is sometimes it does. This is a LinkedIn post from a few weeks ago from Matthew, who is a D2C brand owner. And I will tell you what he said over here, down over here. It's what I didn't realize at the time was just how bad the offer actually was. The lender, called it a 6% flat fee over 4 months with a 1% rebate at the end. So that doesn't sound so bad, right? Until you run your numbers. So with weekly repayments, the structure works out of an APR of 33.3%. That's why it's so important to think about the basic stuff when you raise the capital, because then it will end as the usual expectations versus reality situation. So step 0 would be, before anything else, it's understanding what expensive actually means for your business. What I mean by that is knowing your number first and looking with the simple equation, asking yourself, if everything goes wrong, well, like it's referring to the first presentation of Pasha about holding the capital in your inventory in the FBA or in the fulfillment center. So preparing yourself for the worst. So no growth, just survival mode. Could my business absorb an extra 50K or 100K in financing costs per month, per quarter, per year? If yes, if the answer is yes, you know your maximum risk tolerance. So you shouldn't take more capital in terms of the additional cost that this is going to cost you than your pain point over here. So this will allow you to sleep well at night, and it's the basic that we forgot when we see the options for a lot of amounts of money. So don't play the blind game. Know your floor before you start. Step 1, build your framework. It's also very important. So the first and super easy thing is not easy, because what we see from a lot of interviews with our clients is how much money do you actually need, and it's not a round number. So I need between X and Y. You need exact number, an exact number in time, because this will affect your rates, this will affect whole the process, and probably this will affect only the type of the product. So the first over here would be how much do you need, and then when do you need it exactly, and how it's split it in time. 3, what are the exact purposes mapped into time? Yeah, this is what I just mentioned. So for example, you're going to need 800K for inventory in February and 300K for odds in March. So you need to be very specific over here, and all of that needs to be covered and included in your story. So lenders, of course, they look at your numbers, but they also need to understand your business, your plans, and your reasoning, because this will also affect whole process, the type of the products that that you should get for this particular need, and the offer at the beginning, offer at the end. Step 2, it's starting early. So if this is the most common mistake, where you are looking for the capital where you actually urgently need it for yesterday. So this is the most common mistake. So you're putting yourself far from position of power and the negotiation power with lenders. So if you're thinking about taking some capital in the future in the scope of 1 quarter or 2 quarters ahead of you, so for example, now it's a perfect time to schedule that and implement into your roadmap for 2026, do it now. So like it's over here, if you would like to get funding at the end of Q1, start the process now, not in February, because then you have this handicap. And there is a trick over here. Tell all the lenders that your deadline is 1 month before your actual deadline. Why? Because everything takes longer than expected, and it's this is truth and only truth. And this gives you another time to go through the offers, to compare the offers to other offers, and to negotiate from the position of power. Step 3, apply as widely as possible. Of course, doing this wisely, but the more lenders in the stack, the better, because you're going to see and you're going to educate yourself about the possibilities that you have with this current situation of yours. We like using this dating analogy. So you wouldn't marry someone after the first date. You want to meet their family, understand their habits, see how they behave when the things get difficult. What I mean by that is you need to, meet at least a few times with each of the lenders and see what's, really behind the offer. Because there's like the Matthew situation, everything can look very, very cool on the front page, but you need to have like the end offers of every lender, because I'm pretty sure that they're going to be different. The last offer is going to be much, much different from the first one that you're going to get. And step 4, once you go through all those steps, it's one denominator. So once you have all the offers, take them into one denominator. So either is going to be effective APR, either is going to be effective cost at the end for a particular operation. In particular operation, I mean, for example, for inventory funding for a particular 2-3 draws, you can calculate the actual total cost. So as you can see, that's why it's so important to take the right capital in the right terms for the right purpose, because over here for 300K, the total cost can be the difference over here can be even 100K annually. So you can, it can be a margin or a new Tesla or other cool stuff if done wisely. And step 5, build your stack. So don't think of funding as one product. Think of it as a set of financial tools, because you can mix them. You can add one to another. You can use different tools for different purposes at one time or gradually, or build another tailor-made strategy for your current situation. You pick the right PPC softwares and strategy, optimize AI picture optimization. So you need to be as careful and as precise and as passionate about the whole funding process. The capital is expensive, but it might be helpful. And we have this sentence that we like to refer to, is that this kind of alternative capital will amplify the direction you're going. So if you're going to if you're going to the right direction, the capital will let you grow. But if you're going to the wrong direction, it's probably gonna pull you down. So we need to be very aware of using this kind of financial tools. So know your risk, build your framework, start as early as possible, apply widely to get 3 to 5 offers minimum, and you're gonna get 3 to 5 offers out of probably 10 to 20 applications. So it's a lot of work. Take everything into one denominator to compare apples to apples, and knowing everything, you can build your own stack and your strategy. If you would like to talk more about the funding for your e-commerce business, I'm more than happy to help. You can reach out to me or by QR by Calendly over here, or you can find me on LinkedIn, and I'll be more than happy to help to find the best financing solutions for your business.
Thanks, Blaze. That was a great one.
Thanks.
Yeah, I've had that experience as well, where you're thinking that you're getting one number for funding, and then you're actually paying significantly more. Nobody likes to use good old-fashioned APR, APY anymore.
Especially the lenders, right? Because it's a marketing shout out, it's just 1% per day, and people are doing the same mistake over and over. Even 8-9 figure sellers, they are eager to take 3% per month, then 12% per year, because 3 is less than 12, right? So it's a very, very common mistake.
I believe on the final closing application, they're legally required, though, to disclose the actual APY. And so if at the very least, if you don't understand how to do the calculation ahead of time, at least read through that section of the contract.
Yeah, and if you go through Turbodash, we already know what's behind the curtains, so we can, we can tell you with the big probability that there's going to be, for example, additional costs over here, and this. And for this particular situation, this financing option will be the best. So this is our role over here.
Awesome. Well, that's it for the speakers. I'm going to leave the floor open for a couple seconds here. If anybody has any questions for any of us, anything on your mind, anything that you wanted to ask while you have a panel of experts giving out free advice. Doesn't look like anything, though. So looks like we might just have to wrap up. So yeah, once again, Bianca, Monte, Blaze, thank you guys for joining in and sharing your wisdom and sharing your presentations. You guys know where to reach them. And this recording will be live on our YouTube channel under the live section, but we'll also be probably sending a follow-up email with the recording as well. So you'll have it there. So thanks again, and have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Pasha.
Thank you guys. Good luck 2026. See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.